Hyperdrives have been researched, a new colony has been founded, and our pre-FTL observation subjects have a bit of a panini on their hands. Hello, Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Stellaris First Contact in our Clandestine Curiosity series. The zoonotic plague is something that we're watching and learning from. That's the only approach that we've taken. We've taken the purely observational, non-interference, prime directive style approach to the plague that is currently affecting the Steam Age pre-FTL species on Firamathrios 1. We'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, we're also building... We started this right at the end of the last episode, so there's not even been progress on the very first science ship, but we are building replacement vessels for all three of our existing science and engineering vessels, because we now have ships which can travel through conventional hyperlanes. But what's interesting, I thought about this in between episodes, who says that we have to decommission these? The ability to jump between systems, especially in a pinch, could actually come in quite handy. So I might keep these around and see what kind of gameplay benefits they might yield. Maybe. I have really no idea how well that could possibly pan out, if at all, but it just seems like maybe I shouldn't throw them away right away. I should hold on to them for a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. We have found the wreckage of an archaic spaceship with an unusual design. Is it a solar sailing ship by chance? We're not quite sure how its propulsion system works. Okay. Research. Find out what's up. And in the meantime, as the plague continues to ravage Firamathrios 1, the number of dead and dying is staggering. There is no cure. Further suffering can only be alleviated, not prevented. Oh boy. Alright, well. That's a shame. We do have a bit of a shortage in consumer goods, which is to be expected. I'm going to step up to speed 2 for a moment. Alright, there's our first science ship. Alright, so we have a couple of investigations ongoing at the moment. I'm going to let the science ship sit until it's really clear that...
Ever stronger.
Well, I guess this ship is really just... Yeah, they're just surveying. So let's have Genevieve hop to the new science ship. Okay. So again, we're going to bring this one back. I want you... There is an anomaly in that system. I don't want to survey it just yet, or research it just yet, because it's rather difficult. But we're going to send Genevieve, since she can actually travel. This is one funny thing about Stellaris, is we just magically teleported her from the Balawar system to the Bermuda system when we changed ships. It's just par for the course, okay? This is how this works. On solar sails, we have found that... I was making a joke. I didn't realize you were actually going to give me a second solar sailing ship. Found the wreckage of an archaic spaceship of unusual design. Instead of using propulsion similar to that of modern ships, the craft relied on large sails unfurled in the vacuum of space. Presumably, the ship harvested solar energy and drifted on the solar winds created by starlight. We should dig deeper. Message in a bottle archaeological site at Ladkelion. Ladelicon. Ladkelion? I don't know how I got Ladkelion the first time, but Ladelicon. We have another science ship here. This is going to be one of the things that really benefits us by the end of the series, because a lot of these anomalies we've gotten so far, as crazy as they went during the beginning of Heralds, it's going to be even more so this time, because we have an increased anomaly discovery chance, and all of them are yielding some kind of scientific benefit. So the fact that we started out behind in science, I don't think that's necessarily going to stop us from actually catching up in some ways by the end of the series. We'll see. I mean, it's too early to really make predictions, but I've got a good feeling about the direction this is going. Initial sensory readings from Ladelicon 2A suggest it could support alien life. Okay, let's have a look. Now, can I go ahead and build... Finally. No, not yet. I still need 40 influence before I can build that starbase in Chalks. Fine, I shall wait. New construction ship has arrived, though. That's good. Single-minded. At first glance, the Lodelicon 2A seems to be inhabited by a diverse plethora of life forms. They coexisted in an ecosystem similar to our own, in which nutrients cycle the food chain through photosynthesis, decomposition, and predation. Upon closer inspection, however, the crew discovered that though all living things on Lodelicon 2A may have started out as individuals first, they now, by mysterious design, operate as a single organism, one which responds to all outside interference with fierce and indiscriminate aggression. So we have dangerous wildlife and savage wildlands on Lodelicon 2A. So extra society research from jobs, but lower habitability and happiness as a consequence. All right, we still have our colony of Avonhead establishing itself. Also, let's go ahead and get these mining stations and research stations built.
A system has been charted.
One of our new science ships is called the MCS Fireball. I like it. Religious mania. The zoonotic disease on Fear Mathrios 1 continues to spread. By now, most of the planet's major settlements have been infected. As mortality rates continue to rise, the sheer scale of the disaster has resulted in an explosive proliferation of religious sects and apocalyptic cults. We will gain a new society insight technology. Oh, wow. We'll just gain one right away?
Technology secured.
Nice. So we actually gained pop growth speed plus 10%, which is fantastic. Unless that's the one we just finished. No, that's the one we just finished. Ah, here we go. Okay, this makes more sense because I knew the insights had the gold, tint. So this would change our available envoys by 0.5. So presumably we would have to do another... There would have to be another project in order to get a full additional envoy slot because there's no such thing as half an envoy. Max districts, non-artificial planets only. Ooh, that's really nice. Hang on. I think I'm going to go for the society research benefit first, because the insight tech is... that's not going anywhere. That was just exquisite timing, really. Because that tech happened to finish researching naturally at the same time that the game gave us an insight tech. So I genuinely thought that was the tech for a moment. I was like, wait a minute, this can't be. It's not gold. Okay, so... this science ship, let's just put you on auto explore now because you can. Yeah, we do have to explore Dandar. Now, it looks like you're done out here, so Charlotte Pitt is also going to get her own brand new science vessel. And put that one on auto explore. And I'll have this one start hopping back. This one, however, I don't want to interrupt the archaeological process at all, so we're just going to hold off. The archaeological, I believe. Beautiful bubble. The history of Cool 2 and its... I love that system name. And its lost civilization was uncovered, and although tragic by galactic standards, it was sadly typical. You are supposed to be paused. I think by habit I'm still unpausing after certain events, even though there's now the auto pause and auto unpause options that I've got set. I think this happened in Herald's too, but since we're back to having a lot of anomalies, it's throwing me off again. Alright, so Edith Barrington has become more experienced, but with this experience has come an increasing stubbornness. The scientist has become quite obdurate and is having difficulty accepting new ideas. Not much of a scientist then, are you? Eventually, a civilization arose, growing in technical sophistication, if not social and political harmony. Eventually, they created the tools of their own destruction and then used them. If the fate of this world and its denizens was not unique, there was something that was, and it captured the imagination of our scientific minds. The ceaseless aurora borealis effect dancing unperturbed above all the devastation. Upon closer study, the aurora effect in the sky displayed repeating patterns, which defies all previous knowledge of weather systems. Is there some message here? Keep digging. So we got 10 more minor artifacts. First contact event pending. After successfully translating their language, we have established communications with the independent space station of the Shroud Walkers. Let's see if they want to talk.
By aliens.
Ah, a visitor. Welcome. We are the Shroud Walkers within this void-born hull. Our coven communes with forces incomprehensible to most mortal minds. We contemplate the secrets that lie hidden in dreams, reservoirs of untapped potential, the unseen gears driving whole civilizations. The Shroud reveals much to those who would listen. At this moment, I listen to you. What brings you to us? Do you yet know? Let's go ahead and say... I mean, we can ask what is to be our fate. Although we'd have to give up a lot of influence to do it, so I'm going to say goodbye, which is pretty sure what I said last... I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said last time. Now we can choose a new tradition. So let's see here. This is an interesting call, because we already have discovery. If we want to be the clandestine curious, then we need to go for subterfuge. Or subterfuge, if you want to be precise about it. These, of course, we can't adopt. Any of these last four we can't adopt just yet. However, we could also go for something like harmony. Adaptability. Adaptability may not be a bad idea, given that we have a planet that we're having trouble utilizing. So this will decrease pop housing usage by 10%, and when we have all adaptability traditions selected, we would get the planetary prospecting decision, which allows us to prospect for an additional resource deposit once on our planets, once on each planet. I like that idea. There's also just the more vanilla option of going with expansion, which would allow us to have a little bit more territory. And one of the traditions in expansion is additional pop growth speed. Again, we started with 10 fewer pops, so not only are we trying to catch up in research, we're trying to catch up in population. I like the idea of going with adaptability. It's different. It's not something that I typically go with in the beginning, and it specifically addresses a need that will help us with our first colony. So let's do it. Adaptability for the second trait, or for the second tradition tree.
We grow ever stronger.
Okay, so... yeah, we've already met the Shroud Walkers. Cool. Now, the engineering vessel, I think there's less of an argument for keeping these. Unless, of course... no, I mean, even the engineering vessels, the possibility that we could send them to a specific system and claim something when we need to, like, that's actually kind of exciting. I like that idea. All right, let's build a starbase in Chalks. All right, so this last science ship, I'm kind of tempted just to hire another scientist. Yeah, anomaly research suite.
Have detected an anomaly.
Ah, impressive structures litter a small area on the surface of Dandar 1, practically begging for some archaeological work. Cool. Research it. Do I need a fourth scientist? We are the Clandestine and Curious. Oh, we don't have enough unity right now. Now we do. Just kidding. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's send you on Auto Explore. And actually, I want you to come here and Auto Explore. How about that? Now this engineering vessel I would like to recall, and we can send one of these construction ships instead. And it will be important for me not to get these mixed up throughout the series. I don't think it's a huge threat. Oh, this is an ocean world, actually, with Eladrin 2A. Alright, so a couple of things just happened at once. We have an abandoned amusement park. That's that collection of smaller structures we just learned about. The structures on Dandar 1 are not as old as we first believed. It seems to be a playground or amusement park of some sort. Science Officer Genevieve Allenby notes that many of the contraptions are highly complex creations we can learn much from, and that to the builders' alien eyes, this might have been a cutting-edge sensor array or even a gigantic art installation. Regardless, to us Modian, it looks mostly like a place where you would take their young and let them amuse themselves. So that's a good chunk of society and engineering research right away. And we finished our engineering research project. Handy. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and go for powered exoskeletons here.
We grow ever stronger.
Starbase is done here. Go to the research station, please. We've established the colony Avonhead in the Abriri system. On Fear Mathriel's one, a number of so-called messiahs have appeared, with promises of divine deliverance. Each of these prophets has amassed a substantial following. On top of the ravages of disease, violent clashes between competing sects are increasingly commonplace. So we're going to gain more progress towards the next insight and get a chunk of society research. So far, that really seems like having an observation subject, especially from this early in the game, really seems to be yielding dividends. Like, immediately. Like, it's really kicking in fast. All right, I'm going to go for the obvious choice here, and we're going to have civilian industries for our first building on Avonhead, because we do have a deficit, and we need to address that. A colossal impact crater hints that something big collided with the surface of this planet once. Okay, that's in fact. It is in fact. I'm sorry. That's a lie. I'm not, but I'll say it anyway, just for goodwill purposes.
Our lookouts have detected an anomaly.
There are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization on this inhospitable rock. Okay, you know what? Go ahead and research it, because we need to start taking care of some of those larger anomalies anyway. So we'll have an outcome for our next observation in 62 months. Asteroid collision. A large mineral-rich asteroid collided with Fact 2 at some point during the previous 1,000 years in what must have been a major impact event. An abundance of minerals can now be found on the planet in the vicinity of the impact crater, a fortuitous event. Oh, it's Zuracorp. Okay, so here's the question. If we got contact with both the Shroudwalkers and Zuracorp, where are they? So we're going to gain influence from this.
We are being contacted by aliens.
Great. Okay, so where are you, though? So there's the Shroudwalkers, and Zuracorp is where? So there's two Shroud... Yeah, this seems... Okay, those are all the Zurich... Hang on. Let's look for them the old-fashioned way. Maybe they're... Oh, they're in an undiscovered system. Okay, well, still, how we discovered them and established first contact with them before actually seeing them is throwing me a little bit. I don't quite know what to make of that, but okay. Let's build a starbase in Galaman.
Ever stronger.
Yes, we do. All right, now I am tempted to go ahead and get some starbases up sooner than later. Chalks seems like a good spot to have one, especially given there's a wormhole, so I'm going to go ahead and give that order. We'll be able to collect some trade value. And also, the Abriri system is a good place to have them. We briefly detected some unusual energy readings emanating from this moon. It might have been a glitch in our systems, or it could be a sign of something more. Let's find out what. Alright, I'm going to bring this ship back, slowly but surely.
A system has been charted.
Governor Louise Dalrymple has died at the age of 56. Microsingularity. A microsingularity recently intersected Fact 6A, passing straight through the core and emerging on the other side of the moon. The encounter does not seem to have caused any permanent damage, but it has altered the energy output of the planetary core slightly in a way that defies our current scientific models. Further study may be warranted. Fascinating. All right, mining stations. Not quite able to build another outpost yet. Still working towards that. Yeah, Zuracorp is here in Tavander. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. All right, let's continue to... Oh yeah, that's right, we have the restoration project. Let's go ahead and do that. We need a science ship in orbit in order to do that. All All right, now we have an alpine world there. Why don't you finish surveying, and then I want you to do that research project. Because that will reverse the negative happiness. We're not happy because we accidentally caused genocide. It wasn't what we meant to do. All right, an archaeological site in our empire has been fully excavated. This planet emits strange magnetic waves, quite unlike anything we have seen so far, almost as if it is trying to communicate with us. It is only logical to investigate this unusual phenomenon. We may have just encountered an extraordinary example of life on a planetary scale. Leave be for now. As expected, the rhythmically pulsing aurora around Cool 2 are not natural in origin. The world is surrounded by a still active network of microsatellites. These machines are programmed to project pulses of charged particles into the upper atmosphere, emulating solar winds. The patterns were intended to project a calming effect on the minds of the population, a subliminal message, with the sky as a channel, to suppress any negative emotions and achieve global peace. Clearly, it didn't work as intended. Oops. So, we gained some society research from this, which, ironically, will help us reach the end of our current society research boost quite nicely. Alright, the zoonotic plague has almost run its course on Firamathrios 1. At last, the plague on Firamathrios 1... That is eerie. I don't know what to say. Those words that I just used. And then this. Like, the order was reversed. I should have used those words after they appeared on the screen, but no, I did them before. I'm not psychic, I swear. At last, the plague on Firamathrios 1 has run its course. The age of prophets has come to an end, and a number of major religions are flourishing. With a renewed sense of meaning, the people have begun to rebuild. So we gain progress towards our next insight technology, and we get an additional 678 society research. So they've shifted their ethics towards spiritualist, and there's one pop on Firamathrios 1 that has gained the fanatic spiritualist ethic. Cool. That was a nice little, mini event. By chance, we stumbled upon a faint alien signal during the survey of this planet. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? I don't know. Could it be? Let's find out. Yeah, so it's weird to leave these exploration vessels kind of idling, but that's what I'm going to do for the time being. Magnetic miracle. The strong magnetic field around Avonhead has been affecting computers on the surface recently. Oddly, this effect is not merely random interference. Instead, computers are actually working more efficiently than they should be. It's almost as if an outside force is lending a helping hand. Alright, so we have additional research productivity on this planet, although I think I do need a new governor. Yeah, I forgot that the governor died. Unity from bureaucrats? Ooh, that seems like a good idea. Yeah. So, Marianne Sidebottom. Governor Marianne Sidebottom is now in charge of not only our capital world, but our first colony. Let's just try to lead responsibly, okay? Not get too distracted by the temptation towards puns. What is happening? What is actually happening? I cannot with this episode. Holy crap. All right. Get it together, Hadrian. Whew. All right. Mummified pilot. The mummified remains of a... That's twice in 5 minutes. First of all, in just a psychic, eerie kind of way. The second in just an absolutely hilariously, perfectly timed way. I can't. The mummified remains of a single individual belonging to a previously unknown mammalian species have been found drifting in high orbit over Crant 2. The being is dressed in what appears to be a flight suit complete with a helmet, and maybe a fighter pilot that ejected in some ancient battle only to be forgotten and left behind. Our study of the corpse. I'm so sorry. Our study of the corpse has provided some interesting data. A tragic fate. Okay, so we've gained society research, 341. Oh, wow. Okay, get it together. We can do this.
We grow ever stronger.
Yeah, we do, Barnaby, we do. The Chalk Starbase has finished its construction queue. Excellent. And we gain our society research benefit as well. Yay. All right, I am going to go ahead and go for the planetary unification. It's a little bit late, so let's knock that out. And also, let's see what we can do here. I think a gun battery and a trade hub seem like a good idea. Communication jammer, probably. Yep. Alright, so can I build a starbase here? Yes, I can. A colossal space battle occurred in high orbit of Dandar 5A some 600,000 years ago, with ships from at least 5 different fleets participating. One of the fleets belonged to the Cybrex, although the vast majority of orbital debris seems to come from the other participants. Remarkable. So, this gives us access to the orbital debris research project. So we'll take care of that. And it looks like this scientist is... Oh, they're done. Oh! That's right, hang on. Where... We need an actual science ship to do this. Okay, so we're finishing Krant, and then we're going to head down that way. I thought that was already underway. I was so confused for a minute. Alright. Battle debris. We have this exploration vessel. Tell you what, why don't you go ahead and auto-explore, please? Let's build a research station around this minor artifact. And then I'm going to send this construction ship to build the starbase. What do you mean you can't... What are you talking about? Oh, it's an exploration ship. We need to go ahead and transfer her. Duh. Did I build an extra... I thought I built an extra, but I suppose I didn't. Okay. Science ship. Yeah, I hired a scientist, that's right, but I didn't build an extra science ship for them. That's what's breaking my brain. In addition to the terrible, I mean, perfectly timed puns. Good God. Alright, so we can't quite do anything there yet. That's fine. A brewery starbase. Let's definitely build a shipyard. Followed by an anchorage. Yeah, a little bit of extra naval capacity never hurt anybody. We'll do our crew quarters. Thinking a little bit in advance. We don't have a fleet there yet, but we will, most likely. We can always change that later if we need to. Okay. Now... Jane Sackville. Done. Excuse you. There we go. Now I want you to auto-explore. Perfect. Alright, so now we have 3 unoccupied exploration vessels. That makes more sense.
Research complete.
Archaeological project completed. After analyzing the debris left behind from the ancient battle fought above Dandar 5A, we have learned that 4 alien empires contemporary with the Cybrex pooled their forces together in a desperate attempt to halt the advancing fleets of the machine consciousness. Judging by the small amounts of Cybrex debris that was produced by the battle, they were not successful. So we gained 30 minor artifacts, 1 Cybrex artifact, and 418 engineering research, excuse me. Alright, we finished powered exoskeletons research. Let's go ahead and research... yeah. Extra minerals from, well... mining station output in general as a boost would probably be a better idea. Let's go for that. And also, we are approaching the 30-minute mark for this episode, so I will go ahead and stop. Oh wow, look, there's actually 2 systems now with a minor artifact income opportunity just due to the things that we've discovered, which is a new aspect of this update. The fact that you can actually find passive income from minor artifacts if you build stations around them. So we're able to gain minor artifacts and use them much more effectively via the relic screen than we've been able to in the past, which is just amazingly cool. So we'll have to see kind of how that plays out later in the series. But again, we're at the 30-minute mark here. I need to take a second just to gather myself and remember what it's like to be somewhat professional while doing this, because those puns just absolutely undid me. So just gonna need a minute. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming out every day at 4 p.m. US Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.